A definite of purpose is something that you create for yourself.
A definiteness of purpose.
No one else will create it for you, and it will not create itself. So this is something that Napoleon Hill talks a lot about, and that is definiteness of purpose. He mentions it in a few of his books.
Yes, yeah. He mentions clear thinking, right, and definiteness of purpose, right, which I think if you unpack those two things, being a free thinker means that you question everything, basically, so in order to really understand and know what's going on in life, you should question everything that comes before you. Just like when I became a Christian, I remember, my mentor telling me, listen, you don't believe anything a pastor says, you go find out that information from that book. You want to know firsthand, not secondhand. And that's what happens is being a free thinker, you're willing to go do the work to understand the way that things work, right? So you're never deceived by a false truth or something that is a mirage or propaganda or someone's using the art of persuasion, because you know how to think for yourself. The second one is the definiteness of purpose. So understanding, here's where my life is going. I know that this is where I want to be, and I have a roadmap on how to get there. It doesn't mean you're not going to go off the roadmap sometimes, but you have that definite inside of you. You know that every day you wake up, you're striving to go to a certain place, either whether it's with your business, your family, your spiritual life, your physical life. You wake up with a purpose every day. And listen, I can tell you that if you learn how to think and you wake up, listen, having a purpose and actually building a plan, it sounds like it would be difficult, but it's actually pretty easy. Think about where you want to be when this life's all done, and then go backwards and think about all the steps that you need to take and the things that you need to do in order for you to feel fulfilled that you actually accomplished your purpose.
Yeah.
That's really, what else is there to it than that? Learn how to think for yourself and have a purpose in life, and you're going to be happy and fulfilled at the end of it.
It's an innate desire. It comes from inside of you, and it's something that it can't really go away. Like, I don't know about y'all, but you always feel that need to be doing this, to be successful, and that is the definiteness of purpose. And the whole reason why we started talking about this is because we were talking about, how raw intelligence and focused curiosity, like the focused, curious person will always end up being more successful because they have that definite desire to want, to need, to be in their purpose.
Yeah.
And it's just really crazy how the word definite to me just kept standing out when you talk about how certain people have become so successful. You don't have to be the sharpest knife in the drawer.
No, listen, and hey, it's not a perfect thing either. You get off track sometimes, but I think if you're doing any kind of self-evaluation and you ask yourself these questions, based on the world around me, am I thinking for myself, or am I going off the words of other people, right? Are you doing the work that's required for you to really understand where you stand in life, or are you just relying on others? And then the definiteness of purpose, you'll know if you are on your purpose, you can't be unhappy, right? You wake up with a spunk, a spunk in your step and ready to go seize the day, carpe diem, and you can't do that unless you're on your purpose. So if you're not in your purpose, or you wake up some days and you just don't feel like you're on, it's because you need to maybe take a step back and look at, hey, how have I put the right basics in place, and have I thought this out enough, and where am I going in life? Because typically Napoleon Hill calls them drifters. When you have no idea where you're going, then that allows as he describes it, the devil to come in and to occupy space in your mind. And now you become a drifter. And the further you go down that path, the harder it is to unwind that, So I can tell you from people that I have an office full of people who are free thinkers and walk with a definiteness of purpose. And you can just tell when you see them, man, they have a glow about them. They have just an aura about them, an aura of confidence. And man, life is fun. Life is fun when you're in that place.
No, well, I mean, if we want to add to it when we're talking about purpose, and I think that's what we always talk about too, is passion. Defining that purpose, you have to love what you do in order to want to be dedicated to it that way. Like waking up and being excited about what you do and having that confidence in it, that has a lot to do with it. So sometimes you can get sidetracked, but then you almost have to kind of reevaluate what made you want to do this in the first place, and see if that's actually
It actually happens all the time. You get off the road. You just got to get back on. If you have that purpose and you know where you are, Listen, I get off the road all the time, but I know how to quickly, every time I get off, I can get back on quicker. I learn, okay, this is what got me off. I need to correct this, correct that. So in the process of going towards your purpose, you're improving your life, the skills, the way that you navigate and move through life, which ultimately leads to your happiness. Yeah, the drift is kind of a scary thing, I think, because if you're running hard and not drifting, you might be bloody in your knees a lot, but guess what, man? You're moving towards the goal. When you're drifting, man, you're just kind of, just meandering in the wind, and that's the worst place in life to be in. You'd rather be on your purpose and guess what, having a bunch of hiccups just because it's a hard thing that you're trying to accomplish than to start drifting.
I think sometimes too, like when we're talking about what causes people to get off track, and a lot of times those obstacles, and we've said that before too, like what are some of those obstacles? Like sometimes you hit a wall, like there's something that you have to go and you just have to power through it. It could be even that your parents say, don't do that. That's stupid. And you really listen to them, or you're listening to your friends. Oh, that's going to be silly. Why would you even do that? Or you'll never be successful. And a lot of times that noise, you got to block it out. If you know that's your purpose and you know that's your passion, you have to just run through that obstacle and kind of be committed to it. I mean, we talk about all the time. It is. The obstacle is the way.
The obstacle is the way. The solution is found through the problem.